Something quietly shifted in the way men describe their ideal woman. And if you've never lived alone long enough to find your own peace, you won't see it coming. I've been talking to men who made the deliberate choice to step away. Not broken men, not bitter men. Men who looked at the chaos of modern dating, ran the numbers, and quietly walked out. And when I ask them what they want now, what woman could actually pull them back, the answer is nothing like what you'd expect. One man told me something I haven't stopped thinking about. He said, "I'd want her to feel like my apartment does on a Sunday morning. No drama, no performance, just ease." And in that one sentence, he described a standard that most women don't even know they're being measured against. Here's what changed inside these men, and why it matters more than anything the dating industry is telling you right now. When a man chooses to live alone, really live alone, not just be between relationships, his nervous system does something nobody warns him about. It resets. The low-grade anxiety he'd been carrying for years, the constant background hum of managing someone else's emotional weather, the daily performance of being enough, it all stops. And in that silence, he discovers something devastating. He's actually fine, better than fine. He starts sleeping deeply. His focus sharpens. He spends a Saturday exactly the way he wants to spend it and realizes, this is what peace feels like. And now he can never unknow it. That peace becomes his baseline. And that's where everything changes. Because once a man has lived inside genuine calm, he stops measuring women against other women. He starts measuring them against the quality of his own life. You are no longer competing with her. You are competing with his Sunday morning. That is a completely different competition, and most women don't realize they've entered it until it's already over. So what does he actually want now? The first thing, and this will surprise you, is that he's stopped chasing excitement. The woman who keeps him guessing, the unpredictability that used to feel like passion, he sees through it now. He lived inside that dynamic long enough to understand what it actually was. Anxiety wearing a disguise. He confused the stress of instability with the feeling of being alive. And now that his nervous system has experienced what real stillness feels like, he can feel the difference in seconds. He doesn't want a woman who makes his heart race anymore. He wants a woman who makes his mind go quiet. And if you think those two things sound similar, they don't. One is adrenaline, the other is trust. And he has finally learned which one builds a life and which one burns it down. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because the next shift in how he sees his ideal woman, this one cuts directly through everything the modern dating market is built on. He has stopped leading with what she looks like. Not because appearance stopped mattering, but because he did the math. He lived with a beautiful woman who made him feel invisible. He learned that physical attraction has a shelf life measured in months, and contempt doesn't. He learned that waking up next to someone who doesn't actually see you is a specific kind of lonely that's far worse than being alone. He learned all of this at significant personal cost. And now, character is at the top of the list in a way that would have shocked his younger self. What he's looking for now, consistency. The woman who is the same person on a Tuesday morning as she is on a Saturday night. Directness, the kind that doesn't require him to decode subtext or walk on eggshells waiting for the real message. Emotional stability, not the performance of it, not "I'm fine" when she isn't, but an actual honest relationship with her own inner world that doesn't outsource its regulation to him, and loyalty that doesn't have to be earned daily like rent. He's looking for character, and he can detect the absence of it faster now than he ever could before, because he spent enough time alone to get honest about what he actually needs versus what he was taught to want. Now here's the part nobody talks about, the part that changes everything about how you'd approach a man like this if you ever met one. He doesn't want to be needed, he wants to be chosen. There's a version of love that gets sold as depth, the idea that real connection means needing someone so much you can't function without them. He used to believe that. He doesn't anymore, because he's been needed by women who didn't value him. He's been the emotional infrastructure for relationships, where his own needs were treated as preferences, while hers were treated as rights. He knows now that being needed is not the same as being valued. and being chosen by someone desperate is not the same as being chosen by someone whole. The woman who reaches him now has her own direction. She has things she's building. She has a full life that she's genuinely living, not waiting to begin once the relationship arrives. She walks into his space and she doesn't need him to generate her sense of self-worth. She brings her own light, and she chooses him, not because she couldn't survive without him, but because his presence makes an already good life better. That distinction between needing and choosing is the entire difference between a relationship that drains him and one he would actually consider. And he knows it now in his body, not just his head. But here's the thing that surprised me most when I started having these conversations. These men are not as indifferent as they appear. The stillness is not emptiness. Underneath the self-sufficiency is something more honest than most people ever get to see in a man. He still wants to be known. He just became very specific about what kind of knowing he's interested in. He's not moved by flattery. He's not moved by strategy. He can sense a performance within the first 20 minutes of a conversation, and once he sees it, the interest is gone. Not from cynicism, but from experience. What actually moves him now is genuine curiosity. Not what do you do and where do you live, but actual interest in who he is when he isn't performing for anyone. The version of him with niche obsessions and strong opinions about things that don't matter, and a sense of humor that occasionally surprises even himself. He wants a woman who finds the real version of him interesting, not the impressive version, the real one. And in a dating landscape built entirely on curated performance, that quality, the ability to be genuinely curious about another person without an agenda, is rarer than it should be. Which brings us to the standard that cannot be faked. And this is where I want you to pay close attention, because this is the part that changes how you understand everything that came before it. He has stopped asking, does she meet the criteria? And started asking, does she feel like home? And home, for a man who built one inside himself, is not excitement. It's not novelty. It's not even happiness in the conventional sense. It's the feeling of being able to put the armor down, of being fully present with another person without that background frequency of anxiety that used to follow him everywhere. You cannot manufacture that feeling. You cannot perform your way into producing it. Either it exists in who you actually are, or it doesn't. And he will know within hours, because he has been sitting inside genuine peace long enough that he can feel its absence the instant someone brings disorder back into his space. This is why the games don't work on him, why strategic unavailability doesn't work, why performance doesn't work. He has no hunger you can exploit. He is not reaching. He is not negotiating from scarcity. And a man who is genuinely not hungry cannot be moved by crumbs. The women who reach men like this are not the ones who try hardest. They are the ones who are most completely, quietly themselves. And in a culture that spent years teaching women to perform their worth rather than inhabit it, that is a more uncommon thing than it ever should have been. There's a deep irony at the center of all this. The qualities these men now describe as ideal, groundedness, directness, emotional self-possession, the ability to bring calm rather than noise, these were never new. They are just what emotional maturity looks like in a person, in any person, in any era. We simply built an entire dating culture that punished those qualities and rewarded their opposites. Performance over presence, novelty over depth. And now, we are living inside the consequence of that choice. The man who chose solitude looked at that clearly and decided he would rather wait than walk back into it unprepared. And when he describes the woman who could actually change that, he doesn't describe a fantasy.